I am going through another period of shadow work and learning a few things about myself. And one of the things that I learned the other day, watching a Chris Seiter video, is about the dismissive avoidant attachment style. What is becoming evident to me is that people who have been traumatized in childhood are going to respond to life in one of two ways. They're either going to respond in fight mode, or they're going to respond in flight mode. And I definitely recognize that most of the time I am opting for the flight mode, the avoidance mode, avoiding conflict, avoiding discomfort, avoiding that which feels unsafe to me. And, I don't like the fact that the therapist, the what do you call it? That therapists call it a disorder. Disorder is such a invalidating and shaming term. At least that's how it feels to me. Yes, we have become disordered through the trauma that we experienced. But I think the first step to any level of self-regulation is to become aware of this so-called disorder, to become aware and to understand your quote-unquote disorder, where you are disordered or out of alignment. It does not automatically mean that immediately you have to implement a means or measure of fixing it. This is so complex and so many different layers. Like, you can cerebrally understand the dynamic, but you're affected psychologically, emotionally, you're affected in your nervous system, you're affected in your DNA, and you are affected in body. So it doesn't get immediately fixed just because you understand it at a mental level. You have to feel into the anxiety. You have to feel the discomfort within the container, the safe container of your own understanding. And basically you have to recondition yourself while feeling the triggers. Recondition yourself through the understanding that you're gaining, the conscious understanding. And conscious understanding is only the first step. It makes you aware of a point where you need to give yourself extra gentleness and self-care and self-love. emotionally, psychologically. And as I said, this pattern of avoidance is deeply carved into my psyche because of my upbringing. The lack of emotional support, the lack of having my emotional needs met in childhood, um, shaped me to be emotionally avoidant, to not put myself in vulnerable situations emotionally. And I've become a pro at emotional self-soothing. I I'm very efficient and proficient in that now. One could say I have become my own mother, mothering my inner child. Um, while I am successful at self-soothing, I am not successful to share that um, to share that vulnerability with someone else at an intimate level. And I acknowledge that, I recognize that, and I'm also in no way forcing my internal system um, to fix it and get on with it. We are in the recognition phase, we're in the feeling phase, and internally, there's going to have to be a lot of consultation in bringing all aspects into alignment. But the first priority is to facilitate this recognition in a safe space. So some people say you need to be in a relationship to heal relationship issues. Um, I can see a point of that, um, but one has to be careful to not make that a recurring, re traumatizing, and abusive situation. If the relationship is serving, um, is actually causing you to become more wounded, it's not a good idea to try and fix and resolve this in an unsafe relationship. And the tricky part is to find a safe relationship. And yeah, because the antennas of the nervous system, the antennas to try and find the red flags, are heightened in the traumatized person, in the avoidant, and we're going to respond to anything that we perceive to be unsafe. It's tricky. It really is tricky.